Mike Mentzer was not just a bodybuilder. He was a thinker in a sport that rarely encouraged thinking. In the 1970s, bodybuilding followed one rule: more volume equals more muscle. Athletes trained for hours, performed dozens of sets per muscle group, and believed pain was proof of progress. Training twice a day was normal. Overtraining was ignored. Recovery was an afterthought. Mentzer questioned this culture from the very beginning. Instead of copying champions, he asked a fundamental question: what actually causes muscle growth? He approached training with logic, not tradition. Mentzer studied philosophy, especially cause and effect reasoning, and applied it directly to bodybuilding. If a muscle grows as a response to stress, then the goal of training is not exhaustion, it is stimulation. This simple idea made him an outsider. In 1978, Mike Mentzer stepped onto the stage at the Mr. Universe competition and made history. He achieved a perfect score, something no competitor had ever done before. His physique was dense, balanced, and unusually mature for his age. But despite his success, Mentzer refused to promote high-volume training. He openly criticized the methods used by most top professionals, even when it damaged his career. This honesty cost him popularity, but it also made his message powerful. Mentzer believed bodybuilding had confused effort with effectiveness. More work did not guarantee more results. In many cases, it did the opposite. He argued that muscles respond to intensity, not time spent in the gym. Once the stimulus is delivered, the body needs rest, not more punishment. This belief would later become known as the heavy-duty system, and it changed how many people began to think about training forever. At the core of Mike Mentzer's philosophy is one uncompromising rule: muscle growth is stimulated by intensity, not volume. Mentzer defined intensity very clearly. It meant performing a set to momentary muscular failure, the point where another repetition is physically impossible. Not discomfort, not burning sensation, true failure. According to Mentzer, this moment is when the growth signal is sent. Once that signal exists, additional sets do not increase muscle growth, they only increase fatigue. This idea directly challenged traditional bodybuilding logic. Most lifters believed multiple sets were required to work the muscle. Mentzer saw this as unnecessary and counterproductive. If one set is enough to stimulate growth, then doing more is not productive, it is wasteful. Heavy-duty training focuses on a very small number of exercises, usually one working set per movement. Each set performed with maximum focus, control, and effort. There is no room for distractions, no room for half-hearted reps. Mentzer believed that brief, intense workouts created a stronger adaptive response than long sessions filled with moderate effort. The body responds to quality, not quantity. This system is not about saving time, it is about respecting biology. Muscles do not understand how long you train, they only respond to how deeply they are challenged. Heavy duty demands mental discipline. When there is only one working set, excuses disappear. That set must be everything. This is why many people avoid this style of training. It removes comfort and exposes weakness. But for those who follow it correctly, intensity becomes the ultimate tool for progress. Mike Mentzer believed that the gym is not where muscles grow. The gym is where muscles are stimulated. Growth happens later. This idea sounds simple, but it directly contradicts how most people train. Many lifters believe progress comes from doing more work, more days, more sets, more exercises. Mentzer argued the opposite.
According to him, recovery is the most important and most ignored part of training. When you train with high intensity, especially to muscular failure, you create deep stress not only in the muscle fibers, but also in the nervous system. This stress demands recovery resources. If recovery is incomplete, the body cannot adapt, and without adaptation, there is no growth. Mentzer often said that most trainees are not undertraining, they are overtraining. They return to the gym before the body has finished rebuilding itself. This creates a cycle of stagnation. The lifter feels tired, strength stops increasing, motivation drops, and instead of resting more, they train harder. Mentzer called this a fundamental misunderstanding of biology. He believed that muscle growth follows a clear sequence: stimulus, recovery, and adaptation. If any part of this sequence is interrupted, progress stops. Heavy-duty training emphasizes longer rest periods between workouts, sometimes 3 days, sometimes 5, in certain cases even a full week before training the same muscle group again. To many people, this sounds extreme, but Mentzer argued that intense training requires equally intense recovery. He also stressed the importance of sleep and nutrition. Without sufficient calories and rest, even the best training program fails. Another critical point Mentzer emphasized was nervous system fatigue. Training to failure is not just muscular, it is neurological. The central nervous system needs time to recover, especially after heavy compound movements. Ignoring this leads to chronic fatigue, joint pain, and long-term regression. Mentzer believed that if you are constantly sore, constantly tired, and constantly stuck, your problem is not effort, it is recovery. He rejected the idea that pain equals progress. Pain only signals damage. Growth depends on repair. In heavy-duty philosophy, rest is not laziness, it is a strategic requirement. Mentzer encouraged lifters to track progress honestly. If strength is increasing, recovery is sufficient. If strength is declining, rest must increase. There was no emotion in this logic, only cause and effect. Train hard, then step back. Let the body do what it evolved to do. For Mentzer, recovery was not optional. It was the foundation that made intense training possible.
At first glance, heavy-duty training looks easy. Short workouts, few exercises, very few working sets. To many people, it seems almost too simple to work. But this simplicity is deceptive. In reality, heavy-duty is one of the most mentally demanding training systems ever created. And the reason is simple: there is nowhere to hide. When a workout includes only one true working set per exercise, that set becomes everything. There are no backup sets, no volume to compensate for lack of effort, no second chances. You either give maximum intensity or you fail the system. Most people are not prepared for this level of honesty. They believe they train hard, but when forced to reach true muscular failure, they discover a gap between discomfort and real effort. Pain arrives first, failure comes later. Heavy duty demands that you push past discomfort and continue until the muscle is completely exhausted. This is psychologically uncomfortable. The mind wants to stop early. It looks for excuses. It rationalizes quitting. Mike Mentzer understood this deeply. He believed that most training systems allow people to hide behind volume. If one set feels weak, they rely on the next. If focus drops, they compensate with time. Heavy duty removes that safety net. Every repetition matters. Every second under tension counts. This creates pressure. The lifter must be fully present, focused, aggressive, but controlled. There is also fear involved. Fear of failure, fear of not doing enough, fear that such a minimal approach might not work. Mentzer argued that this fear pushes many people away from heavy duty before they ever give it a fair chance. Another mental challenge is patience. Heavy duty does not reward daily effort. Progress is measured over weeks, sometimes months. Strength increases gradually, not session by session. In a culture obsessed with constant activity, this is difficult to accept. Doing less feels wrong, even when results improve. Mentzer believed discipline was not about doing more, it was about resisting the urge to interfere with recovery. That restraint requires confidence. Confidence in biology, confidence in logic, confidence in the process. Heavy duty also exposes ego. Training to failure with strict form often means using less weight than expected. There is no momentum, no cheating, no performance for others, only performance against yourself. For many lifters, this is uncomfortable, but Mentzer believed true progress begins where ego ends. He often said that heavy duty builds not just muscle, but character. It forces honesty, it demands accountability, and it rewards those who can endure discomfort without distraction. In this way, heavy duty is not merely a physical system, it is a mental discipline. And that is why so few people follow it correctly, and why it works so well for those who do.
Mike Mentzer's competitive career ended early, not because of a lack of potential, but because of frustration. He believed bodybuilding had lost its connection to logic and truth. Politics, favoritism, and tradition mattered more than results and reasoning. Disappointed, Mentzer stepped away from the stage, but his influence did not disappear. In fact, it quietly grew. For years, his ideas were dismissed as extreme. Low volume was considered ineffective. Training infrequently was labeled lazy. But over time, science began to catch up. Today, concepts like recovery optimization, central nervous system fatigue, and minimal effective volume are widely discussed. Many modern coaches now recommend fewer sets, better execution, and more rest. These ideas are not new. They are Mentzer's ideas. Heavy duty was never about doing less for the sake of comfort. It was about doing only what is necessary for growth and nothing more. Mentzer believed progress comes from understanding cause and effect. If a muscle grows after intense stimulation and recovery, then adding more work without recovery only slows progress. This logic applies beyond bodybuilding. It applies to strength training, athletic performance, even life itself. In a culture obsessed with constant action, Mentzer taught restraint. In a world that glorifies suffering, he emphasized precision. He reminded lifters that the body is not impressed by effort alone. It responds to intelligent stress. Mike Mentzer also left behind a deeper lesson. Question authority. Question tradition. Question methods that rely on slogans instead of results. He encouraged independent thinking in a sport built on imitation. This mindset is his true legacy. Today, many lifters unknowingly follow principles he defended decades ago. They train fewer days. They focus on quality over quantity. They respect recovery. Even if they don't know his name, they are influenced by his work. Mentzer proved that muscle is not built by chaos. It is built by logic, patience, and discipline. His ideas remain uncomfortable because they demand honesty, and honesty is rare. Mike Mentzer was not perfect, but he was consistent. Consistent in his reasoning, consistent in his principles, consistent in his refusal to lie for approval. That is why his voice still matters. In the end, Mentzer didn't just challenge how people train, he challenged how they think. And that impact will outlast any trophy.